questions 1 through 3 are not applicable to the Marin dispute. Both acknowledged that the organizational meeting called was valid. The dispute arises, so we'll jump down to question 4. As you read in the packet, there was a bit of a kerfuffle during the meeting and back and forth, and the chair, the outgoing chair, Mr. Wilkinson, who was leading the meeting, adjourned the meeting due to extreme disruption. So the question we have is that permissible? And under Robert's Rules of Order, revised 4th edition, in the case of fire, riot, or very serious disorder or other great emergency, the chair has the right and the duty to declare the assembly adjourned to some other time and place if necessary, if it is impracticable to take a vote, or in his opinion, dangerous to delay for a vote. Mr. Wilkinson and several other statements in his documentation present violations of Marin County Republican Party bylaws, Article 4, Section 3, subsection C, the Code of Conduct, to justify his adjournment. With that, it appears that he does have the ability to adjourn the meeting under those circumstances, if, in his opinion, it was dangerous to delay for a vote. Following through the line, so if yes, did the outgoing or temporary chair reconvene the meeting? No subsequent meeting was called by Mr. Wilkinson since that organizational meeting on January 30th. So moving on down, since the meeting was not reconvened, does Mr. Wilkinson retain the rights of chairman? Under Article 4, Section 3, subsection A of the bylaws, the officers shall be elected by a majority vote of members present at the organizational meeting and immediately begin serving a 2-year term or until their successors are elected. Based on that, I believe he had the ability to do so based on the disruptions in the meeting, and will subsequently ask for that motion. Are there any questions of clarity or points of order from the committee? Okay, hearing none, let's go ahead and hear from Mr. Wilkinson.
Should be on now. You just need to unmute, Mr. Wilkinson.
Drew, can you stop sharing for a second so we can...
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that I was smart. Okay. Let me get to where your question is. You already said what happened, and I adjourned the meeting because it just appeared too dangerous to me. It was a mob, and I can't deal with a mob. I'm just not dealing with mobs anymore. I adjourned the meeting and left. I was going to just leave the whole thing fall apart, but I just don't like the fact that this thing happened the way it did. Apparently, according to people that had stayed there, the 4 people that ran for office were acclaimed in. There was no swearing in. It violated the rules of our bylaws that were in effect at the time. The meeting was my meeting of the Central Committee as an organizational meeting, and immediately upon the swearing in and election of the new members, new executive committee, they would have been in charge. But we never got to that point because of the riot that took place, and I left. I have not thought about reconvening a meeting, an organizational meeting, until this matter was settled here. And I find it very disconcerting that there would even be a consideration of these particular people, because all of them have been removed from the committee for harassment in the previous 2-year term. They had been removed for violence, for harassment by our bylaws. I don't know that I'm gonna argue whether they should be in charge or not, but certainly it concerns me that they created a riot that I felt frankly for my safety. I left the room. I don't know what steps you people want to take because I put it all in your hands by writing the letter I did to you.
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate you being here. With that, we'll go ahead and let's hear from Mr. Turnicliffe.
Okay, you just need to unmute.
There we go. Okay, so do I just start?
Yes, your 3 minutes can start now.
Okay, so hopefully you all saw the video because that was what started the problem is because in prior years, there had been things that had not shown up in the minutes that were disputed. And so the new committee had decided that they wanted to have everything on video so there was no dispute. And when the prior chair started the meeting, he went through the traditional opening pieces with the pledge and then said that there would be no videoing. Actually, I'm sorry, let me go back one. He had somebody up at the front table. The other 3 people from the prior executive committee had resigned. So somebody else was up at the front table with him that was not a member. It was an alternate of the prior committee. And she was asked to leave the front table in the first few minutes. And then the chair Wilkinson said there'd be no videotaping. And we said there would be videotaping. And at that point, he picked up his bag and walked out. And you'll see that on the video in the first 3 minutes. And I hope you watched it because that's the reason we had the video, is in case there was any dispute. And that was the essence of the problem. The rest of the meeting went very smoothly, as you'll see in the video. There's a 45-minute video that showed everything. And the reason it was done is for exactly the reason of the after-the-fact conflicts that have been occurring over the last couple of years. There was no, you can see in there was no such thing as a riot, there was no danger, there was no approaching of anybody, there was nothing. So I would urge the committee, if you haven't seen it, to please watch it at least the first 5 minutes, and that will show you. And you can scan through the rest because it's just a regular peaceful meeting after that. But the problem that our concern is if the new committee is not recognized, it's going to disenfranchise over 20,000 registered Republicans in the county who elected, because we had a lot of people, we had 17 on the ballot, 16 on the ballot, I'm sorry, that were elected and chose the new officers. And in fact, they had even started talking about the transition before that night of the meeting. You saw the emails in there that were saying, assuming, the election goes tonight the way it is or something like that, we'll start transferring the bank accounts and everything else the next day, which they did. So by Saturday, we had the credentials to go to the bank. Friday, we had we had other things transferred that are in the big package. And the 410 was filed on February 1st, confirming the results of the election. And, excuse me.
Time.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Turnicliffe. Coming back in, so again, as I went through with the process, there's a lot of extraneous information that we have, and understand, just like in all realms, there's folks that don't like working together. But based on proper procedure, I don't see the legitimacy of, I see the acting chair was able to adjourn the meeting due to several statements of harassment and even violence. So that is allowed under Robert's Rules of Order. It will be on, in my opinion, it would be on Mr. Wilkinson to reconvene a organizational meeting, because that still does need to take place. But as we went through under the bylaws and Robert's Rules of Order, he still retains the office of chairman, and I would ask for a motion to certify Mr. Wilkinson as the Marin County chair
Drew,
for purposes of CRP delegate appointment and participation.
Drew,
Yes?
that's Mike. 2.01.01B5 specifically states, we put this in here for just a reason like this, that persons to be appointed to the state party by the newly elected and certified chairman. How you guys want to handle that? It's up to you.
Wait, so
2.01.01B5.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, that was the result of last year's
Right.
terms Alameda. Okay. Well, I guess I would ask, since there is no newly elected, since at least what I'm proposing is that there has not been a newly elected chair, so it's not a choice between one or the other. Would that apply, or how would that apply? And I would say, based on the failure to complete the organizational meeting, Mr. Wilkinson is still the most recently newly elected chair, even though it was longer ago.
Chairman,
Yes?
for clarification, in the bylaws, it does say elected in December or January. So the committees are required to now hold their meetings in December or January to get the delegate appointments.
Oh, okay. Well, that presents a pickle.
Drew, I'll chime in and concur with Mike that these are two separate determinations, though, who the
Okay.
right chair is, and then whether that chair gets appointments is a secondary issue.
Okay.
I agree with Mike that as a holdover chair that was not newly elected in January, that chair, if chosen, would not get the delegates under that subdivision.
Okay.
That chair's sole responsibility at this point is calling the organizational meetings. I read it.
Okay. That makes sense. So I'll entertain a motion to recognize that the chair of Marin County continues to be Mr. Wilkinson. However, without an organizational meeting successfully taking place, he would not be eligible for the delegate appointments to the CRP.
So moved.
Motion by Scott Wynn. Is there a second?
I'll second Mary Barkey.
Okay, the second by Mary Barkey. Let's see. Are there Are there two folks that wish to speak against the motion? Hearing none, are there one or two people that wish to speak for the motion?
I'd like to speak against the motion.
Oh, okay.
After watching the video, I don't feel,
Just to clarify, you'll have 2 minutes.
okay. After watching the video, reading the minutes, I don't feel that the actual rules apply to him closing the meeting at that time. I did not see the violence. I did not see the things that were going on. I did not see the interruptions. I did not see him make any effort to go forth to do that meeting, just closing it off. And also the fact that under the previous chairman, they approved the nominating committee, and those 4 people were approved by his nominating committee to be the new leaders. So, and that was there also, and so I did not see that, so I oppose this because I feel that, the previous chairman did not fulfill the duties in a proper way because I didn't see that, violence. I didn't see any of that as I went through that 2 or 3 times. And I think that he could have continued with that meeting. And because it's the same people.
The video got choppy there for a second.
And I'd hate to penalize.
Okay. We lost you for a few seconds there if you want to repeat your last statement.
I don't think we should penalize Marines and the delegates because these are the same people that his nominating committee had recommended to take over the party, to take over the Central Committee with it. And he should have been able to go ahead and keep, I didn't see it out of control. I thought there should have been more effort to keep that meeting going on. And I don't see that it qualifies under Robert's Rules of Orders to adjourn that meeting.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else who would like to speak for the motion?
I would.
Anyone who would like to speak against the motion?
Connor Wong, I'd like to speak for the motion.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Wong.
So the issue at hand is what the chair perceives at the time of the meeting. And so what we have to understand here is the camera only shows one portion of this meeting. Mr. Wilkinson is standing there looking outward and seeing a crowd. And historically, I believe there was an issue of him actually being assaulted by one of these individuals. He has the right to protect himself and to fear for other participants during this meeting. And so I believe that that the chair can perceive what he needs to and make that determination, and Robert's rules allows for that. And that this meeting was adjourned, and that he should they need to proceed with a new meeting.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Wong. Is there any other speaker in favor or opposed? Hearing none. Since we do have the split people on both sides, we will do a roll call vote. I'm going to go ahead and call down the roll. Let's see.
Point of information, Mr. Chair, can you please restate the motion just so we're clear?
Oh, yes. So the motion is to recognize that or to affirm that the meeting was adjourned without an election taking place, and therefore Mr. Wilkinson remains the chair of Marin County Republican Party, but does not have the ability to appoint delegates under CRP rules.
Drew, I want to add 2 clarifications.
Yes, please.
Same as with the previous county, this determination is for purposes of CRP participation and not any other purposes.
Okay.
And second, the delegates that Wilkinson would not receive is under subdivision 5, because that's the provision where the chair has to be newly elected in December or January, but the party would receive delegates under subdivision 9 according to whatever procedures they've adopted for selecting appointed delegates under that subdivision.
Okay. So there are some that he would be eligible to appoint?
The party would appoint them according to whatever their procedures are for that.
Okay.
Danielle could clarify, but I suspect most counties have their chair make those appointments, but the CRP bylaws don't make those individualized appointments. It's for the party.
Okay. So if their bylaws, and I didn't look up this side, if their bylaws allow the chair to make those appointments under subsection 9, he would be permitted those, but not under 5.
Correct.
Okay. So let me restate the motion, for clarification.
So, sorry, yeah, a point of information.
Yes?
So the reference to the organizational meeting and the election happening in either December or January, is it specific about which December or January that has to have occurred in?
Yes, it's the one after the general
Following
election.
the general
The
election.
most recent general election.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the motion, as I believe it to be, is to recognize Jack Wilkinson as the chair of Alameda County, as no organizational meeting was properly held. For the purposes of CRP participation, he can, the party, under the party bylaws, may be eligible for subsection 9 delegates, but not for subsection 5 delegates.
The only correction is this is Marin County.
Oh, excuse me, sorry, a lot of names flying, Marin County, apologize. Okay, does everybody comfortable with the motion, to vote? Okay, hearing no objection, we will move forward with a roll call vote. Were there any committee members to join since, we did the initial roll call?
Yeah, Sadie Foster.
Sadie Foster, okay.
Roman
Timur
Nava.
Engen.
I'm sorry, who was the second one?
Timur Engen.
Oh, let's see, yes, got you, sir.
Thank you.
Was there any others?
Roman Nava.
Oh, Roman, gotcha. Okay, so, let me go down. So, Mary Barkey,
Yes.
Jack Bruker,
Yes.
Keith Cascio,
Yes.
Lee Collier,
Yes.
Mary Conkey,
Yes.
is Michael Curry here?
Yes,
Yes.
both.
And what is your vote?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Nancy DeLuna,
Yes.
Timur Engen,
Yes.
Sadie Foster,
Yes.
Michael Greer.
No.
I'm just gonna call the whole roll just in case people popped in. Tamika Hamilton, Nancy Hinton,
Yes.
Con Wong,
Yes.
Christine Hughes,
Yes.
Delon Jackson,
Yes.
Amber Johnson,
Yes.
Todd Kimmelshoe, Kathy Gannier, Lane Lansing, Bridget Mahoney,
Yes.
Nick Mead,
Yes.
Roman Nava,
Yes.
Carrie Nelson,
Yes.
Karen Powers,
Yes. I would also like to mention, I believe Tamika Hamilton is on the call, but it shows she's muted.
Yeah, we asked her to unmute. She has not unmuted yet.
All right, thank you.
okay.
Hi, I'm sorry, guys. I was driving. I didn't want to die, but I say yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, drive safely.
Thank you.
Megan Range,
Yes.
David Sarian, is David Sarian still on the call? Okay. David Terpetrosian,
Yes.
Corey Uden,
Yes.
Peter Verbica,
Yes.
Scott Wynn.
Yes.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we have 25 yeses and 1 no, so motion carries.